let's do 4 downs here, presented by our friends at TrueCar. Go for it, please.
4 downs with Rich.
Here we go.
What is he?
First down.
Brought to you by TrueCar. Car shopping can be confusing with terms like dealer price, list price, and invoice. TrueCar shows you what other people paid for the car you want, so you can recognize a good price. When you're ready to buy new or used, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. All right, first down here, Mike Del Tufo. Hit it, please. All right, this is on the 2018 season, including the playoffs that we saw. Now that the Super Bowl is in the books, thankfully there wasn't much of a controversy from officiating. Mike Pereira came out and tweeted out that John Parry and his crew, congrats to them, officiating was not the front and center issue coming out of the game that clearly the NFC Championship game was. And I think there's going to be a deep discussion, obviously, on whether replay should be amended to include a whole bunch of, if not all, judgment penalties to make sure what happened in the NFC Championship game did not happen. That said, I don't believe they're just going to do what I think they should do, is just make everything reviewable and then leave it up to the coaches to challenge it. What they definitely need to do, for sure, is make sure that replay can involve penalties for unnecessary roughness and helmet-to-helmet hits. Now, helmet-to-helmet hits is going to be an obvious thing, what you could see on replay. But what wasn't discussed in the aftermath of the Super Bowl, because so much had happened after it, Rex Burkhead got wrapped up by Nickel Roby-Coleman. We're seeing it on the screen right here. In the first quarter on 2nd and long, deep in their own end, and it would have been 3rd and forever. Instead, it's a first down because John Parry himself, I watched him do it. He did it as soon as he saw the hit. He took the flag out. He threw it himself, and he called it within 2 seconds because he's the one that threw the flag. He doesn't need to have a conference with himself, although I think he should have. It was called unnecessary roughness on a hit that looked like, what's he supposed to do?
Defenseless receiver.
I mean, he's defenseless. I mean, Brady threw Burkhead the ball. Roby-Coleman was right there because he read the play. What's he supposed to do? Wait a beat before hitting Rex Burkhead? Is that what he should do?
Hit him in the strike zone.
He did hit him in the strike
He
zone.
hit him helmet to helmet.
He saw what he hit. And not only did I think that, but my good buddy BFF, who I was watching the game with, Urban Meyer, thought that too. And he said what I thought too. Me and Urban were simpatico on this.
Man, I can't wait till Urban Meyer's the next Michigan coach.
No, that won't ever happen. We know that.
When's he coming in studio?
No. But Urban said it too.
Good one.
We were all sitting there, and by the way, the commissioner was standing. The commissioner was standing right behind us too. That was an awful call.
But he hit him with his helmet to helmet. How is that awful?
He saw what he hit. Chris.
Yeah, but you can't hit him helmet to helmet. That's the clear rule. Hit him in the strike zone. And don't twist his neck while you're tackling him.
You need to have review of this sort of thing.
I can't believe you think that's not a penalty.
Chris, it is not a penalty.
Oh, gosh, you're crazy.
He arrived as the ball arrived. What is he supposed to do? As Burkhead turns around and runs into, essentially was right there.
Wrap him up. He didn't wrap him up. He led with his helmet.
That said, you can agree to disagree so I can matriculate my way down this my 4 downs. But that, to me, was a horrible call. Everybody in the commissioner's suite thought it. I thought it. And I think you're in the absolute minority on this, Chris.
Day.
Have people call up. Let's have this conversation. 844-204-RICH.
2nd down.
Okay, 2nd down. Here comes the defense, folks. Here comes the defense. To me, we talked about what the copycat from the Super Bowl is going to be. Everybody always wants a piece of a Super Bowl championship, whether it's a coach, whether it's a style of play. After Seattle won its championship, everybody wanted big, tall, long corners like Richard Sherman. And I think here comes the defense. I'm going to even throw out there may not even be an offensive drafted player in the top 5 in this year's draft.
Ooh.
Unless somebody wants to come up and try and trade with one of these non-quarterback needy teams that sit at the top of the draft. But for an amazing development for a season that hit the 12-week part with all of us wondering if defense was dead, 6th fewest points scored in a postseason since 2000, this year's postseason. It was less than 500 points, which is an outlier. It was less than 480 points, 477 points altogether. I think that's what's going to be. Everybody's going to start trying to find out those slot corners that can cover man-to-man, find out those guys who can affect some change from the middle of the defensive line, find those guys that run sideline to sideline like Kyle Van Noy. I think here comes the defense. That's 2nd down. Here's the third down now here on
Third down.
my take. All right. Look out for the AFC North in 2019. Look out for the American Football Conference North. I'm looking over the steering wheel, and I'm seeing a Steeler team that I think is going to be better. I think even without Antonio Brown, I think that would be an addition by subtraction. I think that they're going to do a better job than before without all the drama. I think, despite whatever drama Big Ben may have, I think they're going to be a playoff team next year. You've got the Ravens with John Harbaugh re-signed, Greg Roman, who coordinated for Colin Kaepernick, now having the young, dynamic, only rookie quarterback to make the postseason in Lamar Jackson. And we'll see if the Sean McVay effect that we saw, even though I know he's not a Sean McVay guy, but taking from Kansas City and putting together Matt Nagy with a great young quarterback. Let's see what Andy Dalton looks like with Zach Taylor, now the new head coach there. I like the AFC North. I think they're going to be the most improved division. Look out for them next year, and that brings me to my fourth down.
Uh-oh.
Fourth
Yes,
down.
okay. The last hot take plank down of the year. So excited.
Thank you. By the way, great.
I have to really space out how I say
I know
that
I
because
know. Great. It was a great filler.
Had to finish
Got up
strong.
and grabbed the
Had to
plank.
finish.
All right, I clutched the hot take plank. So much about the 2019 season and Super Bowl 54. Who's going to win it? You see all those at the top
Odds
of the
are already out,
odds are
yeah.
out. The top four.
Same as this
Is
last
the
four.
last four
yeah.
that just made the
Yeah,
championship
Chiefs,
game.
Saints, Patriots,
Very
Rams.
rarely does it work out that way. My hot take, fourth down. Super Bowl 54 will be won by a team that did not make the playoffs in 2018.
Hey, all right. So
Now, take a look who didn't.
let's take a look.
Steelers didn't. They didn't make the playoffs. The Denver Broncos didn't. But maybe they do get Nick Foles. Maybe they can go ahead. The Falcons didn't make the playoffs this year. The Carolina Panthers did not make the playoffs this year. The Cleveland Browns. I'm not stuttering. The Cleveland Browns
Wow.
did not make the playoffs this year. Keep an eye on all that, baby.
Jacksonville, New York Giants.
I'm throwing it out there. The Philadelphia Eagles, 2 years ago, this point in time, nobody was talking about them being a Super Bowl contender.
That's true.
That's my fourth down here on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.